investigators.
Welcome to the Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators. I'm Dan.
And I'm Steve.
And today's a special episode because it's a bit of a throwback episode for a couple of reasons. And the first reason is we are joined by John from Oddtrots.
Hello. If anyone watched a video of this, you might have seen my mouth move because I had to press mute to burp. That's how I introduce myself.
Do you know, I wouldn't worry about muting that.
Yeah, I'll remember that for next time.
And to be fair, at the moment, you're our only patron. So when the videos go out, you're the only person looking at them. So,
oh, that's brilliant.
Which is why you are in our Discord with a lovely, I think you're green in colour on the Discord. Because you're one of our lovely patrons, our only patron at the moment. Spoiler, join our Patreon.
Join. Come and say hello to me so I don't feel lonely in the Discord server.
Yeah. Do you like my shameless plug there for Patreon at the top end of the episode?
You've got to do it, otherwise people won't know.
Yeah, so those YouTubers that go like, subscribe, press the bell icon and all of that, getting it in there.
There you go, it's done now. You don't have to mention it again.
We're far more professional than when you last joined us on the Ghost Hunt special.
Oh, wow, that was quite something. That was a lot of people talking.
It was. And now we have you here all by yourself.
I thought it was a really good episode. It was... I enjoyed it. It's nice to get some together.
I've been thinking a lot about it since. So I have recently been playing some. There's a game called Phasmophobia. I'm not sure if you're aware of it.
Yes, got it. Would you like to play?
Yes. Do you know under consultation, Cliff? Obviously.
Yep.
Yes. And do you know Ash as well?
Yes.
So I've been playing some of it with Ash from Under Consultation podcast as well.
That's good.
Yes, so I mean that could be something. You could have a little podcast crossover with them as well, maybe.
Yeah,
and do some Phasmophobia, and I'd be happy to do that too.
Well, Steve does keep telling me that I need to buy it and we need to play it.
I think
it's so much fun. It's really good fun.
I've actually got. This isn't very good for anybody who. I'm going to try to get it working on my VR headset because apparently. With VR,
I really want to try it on VR. I don't have a headset, unfortunately. I'd love to try it. Subscribe to me on Twitch so I can get a headset.
Get one.
There you go.
Yes, and I will say I have watched John's Oddtrots Twitch several times, and it's very entertaining. Do go out there, give him a listen, give him a follow, give him a listen.
Why did you do that?
Not a listen, a watch. Why did I do that? Because I like watching you on Twitch.
Ah,
I have. I've joined you a few times.
Yes,
and
you have.
It is a great.
It doesn't matter if you're watching
stream.
That's great. Nobody's ever has to chat. The whole idea I have for it is everyone has them shit days, and it's just the idea of just people being able to just go and do something nonsensical. Like I have had a couple of people come in sometimes go, bloody hell, I just had to read a wall of rules to join in chat. I'm like, ignore them, but you don't have to. It's basically there. Like if something happens, we can go, it's against the rules. But it's simply just because we don't want politics. We don't want people coming in like using any isms or like even if it's like casual throwaway remarks about about bloody Americans, am I right? Or things like that. It's like, there are people there just don't want to be reminded of that. I mean, you've seen the crap that everybody in the world has to go through right now. Just have a bit of escape. We'll watch a random Paul Daniels game show together.
Oh, we do watch. Paul, how did he get away with that stuff?
Oh God, I know. It's different times, as people say.
God, that still makes me laugh.
I very much like what's the best way of explaining it? I love the idea of looking back on old TV for different reasons. For instance, I used to love like the really old, like 60s, 70s Coronation Street because like it really shows culture of its time. Not just from a community standpoint, but from a production standpoint, things like that. And I just find it fascinating. And so I've always liked watching old stuff, and I've found a group of people who also like doing that. And they will sit there. But the most important thing is it's become like a music bed. So if there's a bit of silence, like dead air, the TV program fills it. So we do that, and yeah, we do play a game every now and then, but it's primarily focused around that because I just love talking about old rubbish telly. As a big fan of Doctor Who.
I mean, the big thing about old rubbish telly is there's a whole generation who will never see it. Well, you know, if you got those videotapes, they would never know what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody who wasn't there.
As we were just discussing, despite my haggard appearance, people often surprised when I go, look, I'm only just about to turn 40, because I look it, and two, I seem to know a lot about stuff back then, like even my musical tastes, for instance. Like I'm big into like Pink Floyd or Queen, things like that, and TV programs. I'm always looking at older stuff. I spent a long time recently listening to and watching Galton and Simpson stuff, such as Hancock's Half Hour and Steptoe and Son. I absolutely love it. So even when I'm not streaming this kind of stuff, I'm also doing it like at home. My partner and I, we watched lots of Coronation Street, as I said, even old EastEnders. No matter what you think about EastEnders, if you watch the first 2-3 years of EastEnders, it is, I wouldn't say it's gritty, it's just down to earth stuff. You know, it's no, it doesn't feel as manufactured really. It just really feels kitchen sink. And like recently we've been watching Neighbours as well. But I just find it quite fascinating about like how it depicts society and how also it may have shaped society at the time as well. And also things that were deemed acceptable back then. A lot of times we have people worried about, oh, you know, we shouldn't be showing this because they say this, they say that. I'm like, yeah, but we have to show it, because if we silence it, we'll never learn how far we've come. So we need to
100%.
accept that and maybe accept some liability of it and not sweep it under the rug.
There's been too much rewriting of history recently, just because it's convenient, because it's correct.
You can't just censor it. It's like how I totally get how for reasons they've reworded Roald Dahl stories for kids, because there are some things that don't quite come across correct anymore. But the thing is, there are still, they have the classic collection, which is the original unfiltered stuff, and that I guess is acceptable. But
I think that's it. You have,
but then it's something that but it's something they've done in literature for a while, though, isn't it? Because like Noddy, the gremlins in Noddy originally, in the original Enid Blyton things, they were actually depicted as being little black people, and then
I didn't know that.
As it passed on with time, they then went, actually, we probably shouldn't show these people being very unkind and mean and stealing things. We'll change them. And then they changed them into these little goblin-y elf type characters.
That was a big problem with, Enid Blyton. Obviously, she was of her time, where things were a lot more acceptable there. But definitely, even in the 70s, they were changing that stuff. Well, that's how bad some of that stuff was.
I can imagine. What I find fascinating is, let's be honest, it's the internet. So at least probably 70% of my viewers are probably straight white males, and they are constantly like to pick out things that we're watching on stream, which are, let's say the straight white males found acceptable, and it's not that demographic that should be that should be pointing out the problems. But everyone else who, that maybe had the finger pointed at them back then, who represent that demographic, they're going, typical, it's that's their reaction. Yes. And everyone else is going, oh, we shouldn't be showing this, we shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, why? Yeah. Are you ashamed? Why are you saying it on their behalf? They're watching this.
Offended, I think that's in itself is offensive when you want to speak on somebody else's behalf. You think that they're incapable of speaking. Whoever that group is, that demographic, they're incapable of speaking themselves, and you've got to speak for them. That's just as offensive.
Yeah.
My wife, has had experiences when she was at the hospital working, and people making decisions for her because they thought that a situation she shouldn't be in that situation because of whatever it may have been. But she said that she found it really offensive that she wasn't allowed to make those decisions herself because people are trying to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's not good.
It is.
Well, this conversation does segue nicely into our story, though, talking about skin.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I went a bit too. I bet we're a bit deep there. Good call there. Let's pull it back in.
Yeah, so let's pull it back.
He's very good at this, isn't he? Yeah.
Because this is olden times and different colour skins. So it's a good point to now segue into what the main feature of this episode is. And today we're talking about the green children of Woolpit. And I did say earlier, this is a callback for two reasons. One is we've got John from Oddtrots here, who was in a previous episode. And this story takes place very close to somewhere where we have visited before. Good old Yaxley of Henrietta Nelson. Do you remember Henrietta Nelson, the weird painting that the ghost followed her around from Yaxley Hall and everything?
She wore a big hat.
She did have a very big hat.
She was a haunted painting.
Hats.
Yeah.
Well, this story takes place around about 15 miles away from Yaxley.
But also about 800, 700 years before that painting was painted.
Yes, we're talking around, well, they've estimated the story to be somewhere between 1135 and 1154. I don't know why I was like to say 1000 then, but 1135 and 1154. And this was documented by two historians of the time, William of Newburgh, who reportedly died in 1198, and Ralph of Coggeshall, who died around 1227.
Household names, both of them.
So, yeah, historians of the time were writing about this. So, it was harvest time. One day during the reign of King Stephen, the villagers of Woolpit, which is in Suffolk for context, and
it's a village.
Yes, it's a village. Sorry,
like the pub in Emmerdale or something.
No, so Woolpit is a village in Suffolk, and it actually gets its name from wolf pits that are nearby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To get rid of the wolves, they would dig a pit, throw in a dead lamb or whatever, dead sheep. The wolf would go in and wouldn't get out, so they could kill it, and it wouldn't be eaten as sheep. So wolf pits sounds very interesting. I wonder if they still have them. No, they got the wolves. The pits worked very well. I think we can decide that. Very effective use of pits.
But no, you're fine. You don't have to apologise. But the villagers of Woolpit one day found two children next to one of the wolf pits. Their skin colour was green. They spoke an unknown language, and their clothing was unfamiliar. The children were taken to the home of Richard de Calne, and the two children refused food for several days until they came across raw broad beans.
Martians.
Which they ate. All of the raw broad beans. So
and only the broad beans. They wouldn't eat anything else.
Only the broad beans.
All of them.
And I can't believe that because kids will not eat broad beans. So this story already is just they're not human. Yeah.
No. They've got a furry texture on the outside and they squeak when you bite into them.
Oh God, yeah, they're the worst.
And so am I the only one here that actually likes broad beans?
Yeah, probably.
I knew there was something wrong about you, Dan. I just couldn't quite put my finger on it.
Well, my family all call broad beans Daniel beans because when I was a child, we used to grow broad beans in the garden, and I would actually get them from the pod and just eat them raw off the pod. Maybe I'm a green child.
I'm going to have to Photoshop your face on a bean now, like a pea in a pod.
But yeah, so my whole family refer to broad beans as Daniel beans purely because I was obsessed with them as a child and would eat lots of them.
I'm surprised it didn't catch on. We all don't call them Daniel beans now.
Yeah.
Paris.
That explains why people call me. That explains why people call me John X Videos. Sorry, lowering the tone.
Oh, you go for it. Not lowering it any further than we normally do. But the children did slowly begin to adapt to eating normal food. And when they started to adapt to the normal food, that's when they stopped being green. So as the more they ate the normal food that the villagers were supplying them with, their skin color stopped being green, and they slowly became well, it doesn't actually say what skin color they became, but they lost their green color. I would assume, based on the time period and the fact that we're talking about Suffolk, I would assume white. Yeah. That's what I'm assuming. It doesn't say, but let's just.
You to assume I am offended on behalf of the people of Suffolk.
All the green children.
But it was decided that they would baptize the children, and the boy actually ended up being sick and died soon after the baptism.
Depression, I hear.
Yeah. Whereas the girl continued to live, and they did try and teach the children English to speak. And
was already dead, so that didn't help him.
Yeah. Well, apparently they did speak English, and then that was it. They were taught English, then they were baptized, then the boy dies soon after baptism because he was ill. And when the girl eventually became good enough at speaking English, it's actually reported. So this is actually from a text that's from Richard de Calne, I believe. Apparently the girl said, "We are inhabitants of the land of St. Martin, who is regarded with peculiar veneration in the country which gave us birth. We are ignorant of how we arrived. We only remember this, that on a certain day when we were feeding our father's flocks in the fields, we heard a sound, such as we are now accustomed to hear at St. Edmund's Church when the bells are chiming, and whilst listening to the sound, we became in sudden, as it were, entranced, and found ourselves among you in the fields where you were reaping. The sun does not rise upon our countrymen. Our land is little cheered by its beams. We are contented with that twilight, which among you precedes the sunrise or follows the sunset. Moreover, a certain luminous country is seen, not far distant from ours, and divided from it by a very considerable river."
Did you say beams or beans?
Beams, with an M.
And he sent that in a text message.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Message 1 of 3.
It's a bit long. Remember, it's only 25 characters in it. Or was it 25 words in the old days or something like that? But she learned English very well if they were the words she was using.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently that's the exact wording that she used.
That's A-level. So she lived. What they said basically, they lived in a land that was always in twilight, that there was no sunlight, but they could see a land in sunlight.
So they lived in a cave.
Yes.
Well, that's some of the theories.
Back of a cave.
Some people theoried that. So
maybe they lived in a wolf pit.
Well, they thought they came out of one of the wolf pits. That's what I had heard. But then, so what happens after that, Dan? After she did that,
so
she wrote that.
After that, and this is the interesting bit, she grows up into an adult. Now,
fascinating. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Oh, wow, what a twist!
Well, her brother died. But it was. They seem to think, and this was concluded by. So somebody called Duncan Lunan was doing research into the different accounts on this. So they was looking at Ralph and William's accounts and writing, and then Richard de Calne, who took the children in, he was looking at Richard de Calne's story and family history. And Duncan Lunan ended up figuring out that somebody called Agnes, because they called the girl Agnes, around that time period, ended up marrying somebody called Richard Barr, who was from King's Lynn, of all places, and ended up becoming the Bishop of, I think he became the Bishop of Ely at one point. And they had one child together. So she went on to marry he was Archdeacon of Ely, Richard Bear, and had a child with him.
So she was human after all, then. She wasn't an alien.
She was human after all.
Was the child green?
Doesn't say. It just says they had one child. It doesn't even say whether the child was male or female.
Or white.
Imagine if she birthed a pod and it was actually just like
just a pod.
4 or 5 babies.
Yeah.
Knocked them all out. There is a truth to this that I think that most people do agree to, which I understand is that about 8 miles away from this village, I don't know if it's worth talking about what the actual theory is or the other theories that are modern around this. There's people who think that maybe there is a parallel universe. They came from a parallel world, or they came from the Hollow Earth theory, where they're in a twilight underneath the ground. They came through a cave to come out. There's theories that they came from Hollow Earth. There was theories they came from alternate dimension or aliens, or there's a lot of theories around pixies at the time. They thought they were brought by pixies because green was a color that related to pixies. So they thought, because there was also changelings as well. They thought that maybe these were changelings that came from the pixies had left them. So there's all these weird theories. But from what I understand, these historians at the time were writing this. There were some details that were a little bit different between the two, but their accounts were pretty much factual. Both these historians were proper historians at the time. They were documenting the British Isles and England's history, and they said that then they described these children as being as fact. This happened. It's only since then people theorize where they came from.
Yeah, and one of the leading theories is that they were descendants of Flemish immigrants who had been persecuted or killed by King Stephen or Henry II, and they were lost and confused, and they ended up in Woolpit speaking Flemish, which then meant that the villagers thought they were speaking gibberish because they didn't speak Flemish.
They ended up there after being persecuted and killed.
The parents.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant they killed them, but then they turned green.
So what I understand about this part is that there was a village 8 miles away, which actually had a church in it called St. Martin's. So they actually had its own. Funny enough, they came from the land of St. Martin, but 8 miles away there was a church of St. Martin, and there was a big Flemish population of immigrants there. And apparently, what had happened, there'd been an attempt to overthrow the royal family, and they used Flemish mercenaries. And in response, the king decided to persecute the Flemish immigrants and kill them.
Do you think maybe it's that, like they're saying that they could see light further away? Do you think it maybe mean like there's always light at the end of the tunnel, like as in it's dark here, as in like the situation is dark?
It could well have been. They could have been in hiding for knowing that they were being, say persecuted. It was persecution, but it was one of these tit for tat. You try to kill me, I'll kill all you. So they may have been hidden by the parents. They could have been in a dark place for a long time and then let out. And also the green of the skin, they suspected was due to malnutrition is one of the different things. So there was what they called it. It was I can't remember what the condition was. What's it called? Like the green disease or something, which was basically people at the time, if they became malnourished, they thought their skin would turn green. But it sounds more like an anemia.
Yeah, so
because of their poor diet.
Hyperchromic anemia.
That's it. So the suspicions are that they had been malnourished because they were in hiding. They hadn't been fed properly. The result is their skin turned green, which is why their skin returned to normal color once they started to eat properly. But also, one of the symptoms for that is the lack of appetite. You can be malnourished but find food repulsive. And that's what they did until they found these green beans, which is the only thing they could stomach at the time. But it would explain the language. It would, because they were Flemish, it would explain the clothes, because the Flemish were weavers. They made a lot of very fine clothes back in the day. So I think
that sounds the most plausible.
It does really, but it's just that I think that what just confused everybody, was the story that the girl Agnes told about living in a twilight world where there was no sunlight. And it was just, I think that, but then again, that's kids.
There is also hereditary. Like. There is a hereditary form of the hypochromic anemia, apparently. Hereditary iron refractory iron deficiency anemia is one of them. So it could be maybe that it's just a genetic thing. Because if they have come from elsewhere, maybe it's a family expanded, or I don't know.
Because the thing that maybe potentially says that this wasn't right, that story of the Flemish speakers, is because they were only 8 miles away. They were educated. The town where they grew up, the Woolpit, was like a hub. It was like a transport hub. There was a lot of business, a lot of things going through. That wasn't a small area. It wasn't like in the middle of nowhere. They would have known they were Flemish speakers. They would have recognized the language. And if people went green when they were malnourished, there was a lot of malnourishment going on. They would have seen that all the time. They would have, they would have known what that is, but they didn't know what the green was at all. And I think that's all the documents at the time said they had no idea what this green was. They'd never seen anything like it. And they would have done if it was that common in that era.
Yes, if it was common in that era. But that's, the hereditary aspect of it could be something, because, if it's the same group of people, maybe a slightly larger family or something like that, if it, I don't know, it depends how long ago, but maybe green was quite common within a small community that had migrated. Who knows? But that's I like this. The green, I like it. The green children. I've never heard of it before, ever. Where do you find this stuff?
We're experts of the mysteries, and when we say we're mystery investigators, we're very good at investigating to find strange mysteries.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we're not actually that good at investigating the mystery itself, but we're very good at investigating to find interesting stories.
Wow.
So that,
if I'm honest, that's my sort of big thing of basically saying I can't actually remember where I found this one. So some of them I borrowed some of our stories that have gone out, and some that we've got written and to look at in the future. I actually borrowed an amazing book, and I will shout her out because I know she does listen. A wonderful person that I work with called Ali lent me a Reader's Digest book of British folklore and myths, which I have looked at buying a copy myself, and it is ridiculously expensive to buy a copy for yourself. And I went through that cover to cover, going, that's a good story, that's a good story, that's a good story, that's a good story. And we've actually got behind the scenes a Google Docs document of stories put into ghosts, folklore, beasts, which are things of, this is an interesting one, we'll come back to this. So sometimes we'll choose some from there. This one isn't on the Google Docs, so I can't actually remember where this one came from.
Dan has put this great Google Docs together, and I've never read it. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, that's so sometimes we'll actually sit down to record, and Steve will go, what are we recording today? And I will go, we're doing this story.
It was all in the documents. Yeah, sure it was.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll hear him. Sometimes his research is he's researched it just before we've gone on, or looked at the links, or he's gone to the Google Docs, found it on the Google Docs, and found information that way. That's how we do this. We're professional. But we do also have several books like this ones that I'm holding up to those that are listening, Cambridgeshire Folktales. So between the two of us, we have got loads of interesting books with stories in.
That's amazing. I've just noticed something as well with this Woolpit. I didn't see it until I just moved the. Yes, I've got Wikipedia open, but for Woolpit, I moved the picture over to another screen. I didn't notice that the people on the Woolpit sign was actually green children. It looks all dark, like
yes.
But then I just moved it over to my brighter screen, and then I noticed that they're both green. So even on the black Woolpit sign, it's two green children.
And I appreciate the fact they've got a little wolf on it as well.
Yeah. Not in the pit yet though. He's just standing there on a higher ledge, like Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith.
Just to say one other thing about that condition they're talking about, usually though it doesn't make people green, it usually makes people blue. Because you've heard of the blue fugates, I think they're called.
Those are the ones that Gargamel chases all the time.
Yeah, that's right. They were from. They were a family who lived in Kentucky, and in the 1800s, due to inbreeding.
Now they play pipes on stage in Vegas. Sorry, I'll stop.
Yes, I saw that. We did actually talk about that earlier on. But yeah, they were blue. They were absolutely blue. The entire family, every single member.
Oh, yes. Wasn't there like suggestions of inbreeding or something?
Heavy inbreeding, yeah.
Yes.
That produced that condition. Yeah, so they basically, I think grandfather back in the 18s, whatever it was, they got together and there was two of them who had the same condition. But because it was inbreeding, they just got bluer and bluer and bluer. And it was all because of this anemia. But there was not enough oxygen. The blood wasn't being oxygenated enough. So their whole appearance was blue. In the 1960s, there was a hematologist who actually treated some of them because even up to the 1960s, they were still there. And they managed to reverse it within minutes by reoxygenating the blood properly. So within minutes of them going there and having oxygenated blood put in their body, the blue disappeared. But this was blue. Yeah, so apparently it turns the blood almost blue or even brown, which gives that effect. So this condition they're talking about, the children being green, this wouldn't be green, this would be blue. Because we know that from the family who actually suffer from it.
Okay.
So again, green, it doesn't explain everything still. There's a lot of things there that can be explained, like the Flemish side of things, potentially, the clothes, but the green still is weird because people don't turn green. Yellow with, if you're talking, you got hepatitis, conditions like that, liver disease, but they lived a happy, healthy life. So I very much doubt it was a liver disease or liver condition.
Well, I've got a story here from 1887. So in 1887, so we're now talking 700 years later, near Badajoz, Spain, there was some farmers harvesting their fields when they hear some frightened cry. When they investigate, they discover two children, a boy and a girl, terrified and huddled near a cave. The two were screaming in a language that was not Spanish, and their clothes were made of a strange metallic cloth, but the children's skin were green. The two children were taken to Ricardo de Calno, where the local populace attempted to take care of them. They would not eat or drink anything apart from uncooked vegetables, specifically raw beans, and were soon healthy and hearty. The green girl lived for 5 years, during which time her skin slowly lightened to a Caucasian tone. She then learned Spanish and told of her origins that deepened the mystery. She said that her and her brother had come from a land with no sun. The people there, all green-skinned, lived in twilight. They could see a land of light, and beyond it was water. When she was asked how she got there, they heard a loud noise and appeared. So, that's a story from Spain.
But, there is a big but with this one. And this big but is the story was stolen. It was stolen. That's all it was. Whoever made this, I can't remember who it was. There was a person who actually responsible for this. And they did. They later admitted that they actually took the story from the Woolpit story and just moved it over to Spain because
like the Brothers Grimm did, basically.
They just stole the story and relocated it to Spain for the audience there. But yeah, people got really excited apparently when they found out there was another thing.
And I quite like the fact that in the Spanish one, Richard de Calne becomes Ricardo.
I didn't even bother changing the name.
Yeah. Richard de Calne, he's now Ricardo.
Ricky. Ricky. Back to your standards.
Yeah. Oh my God. So, was the silver reference in the original, or have they just added that on?
They've added that on.
Yeah, because this was, what year did they say that was? That story? That I think that was.
It was claimed to be 1887. However, it was in John Macklin's 1965 book, Strange Destinies.
Yeah, writing books about kids from outer space again. There's a lot of that goes on. Kids from outer space. There was a couple of books written in the 60s as well about this, which linked them to being from outer space, from the 9th planet, or they became quite obsessed with these children being aliens rather than just Flemish refugees.
And as Steve said, the author of the Spanish one did later admit that he actually got the story from Thomas Kiteley's book printed in 1850.
Yeah.
Which was about the Green Children of Woolpit. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's a great story. I mean, it's like I said, there's still, even though most of it can be explained, there's still things there that, if you take the word of the people writing it and documenting it at the time, there's still questions. Again, green, when the skin does turn blue in that condition, if that is the condition, people don't go green unless they're on a really choppy boat.
I'm looking back at this anemia thing, and I think it's a different type, the blue one and the green one.
There was one which apparently I've looked into it, and the original condition they thought, the green sickness or the chlorosis, I think they proved out it was just a medieval theory. It wasn't actually a proper medical condition. They just called it that. So there's not a medical condition sort of linked to it. And I think there's been lots of research into it. And again, they haven't actually found any condition as such. It was a medieval thing, but they probably would have stuck leeches on you.
All right. Okay.
Like everything else.
Okay, yeah, there's an iron deficiency anemia, but I don't know. I mean, is it anemia? Is it I don't know, moss?
Well, they were okay. They could have been covered in moss.
Because one of the things they said in their Twilight world, the only thing they could eat that was safe to eat was green. So they said the only things they could eat were green, which is why they picked the beans out.
If you ate enough green stuff, would you go green? I don't know.
We have to ask Jamie Oliver that.
Well, there is that whole thing where
I'll eat chicken nuggets in front of him and he'll bloody love it. I'd love a hot dog right now. You got a problem with
that? See, I'm one of these people which you probably find out. People tell me I can't do it. That's all I want to do. If you tell me I can't eat.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like the big do not press button or wet paint. Is it wet? Keep off, really?
Tell me I can't play a computer game. All I do is get 100% on achievements on that computer game.
I remember being told off when I was about 7 years old, because there was a perfectly smooth brown lump on the pavement where we were standing. Like perfectly smooth, and I was looking at it for ages going, is that a brown stone or is it a dog poo? And eventually my brain got the best of me and I just went, I'm gonna have to step on it and find out. And I just got such a telling off from my mum just because I just like squelched this dog poo into the treads of my shoes. I have to.
It was worth it. It was worth it, though.
At least I know that could have still been getting to me to this day.
It's that kind of mind that has put the human race where we are today.
Yes. Yes.
We wouldn't be if we didn't have people who step around dog shit. We wouldn't be here today.
Yes, exactly.
So we progress. That separates us from the animals, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you did say eating too many green things will they turn your skin green. Now I don't know about green things, but if you eat too many carrots, you will turn orange.
Yes, apparently you do. Now I was going to mention oranges for some reason earlier, not just because I'm holding an orange pen. And it was that carrots have been around in this country longer than oranges, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And you obviously know that the word for the colour orange derives from the fruit orange. Why did we never call the colour carrot?
Because carrots aren't originally orange.
Yeah.
They were purpley in that.
And what?
It's a mystery. See, we do solve mysteries.
We do solve mysteries.
So carrots were purple, people were green.
Yep.
Or unless you inbreed, then you're blue.
Yeah, they were white. They were so you had purple ones and white and yellow ones, and then eventually orange was selective breeding. I wouldn't be able to tell you when it was selective breeding, but it was selective breeding turned them orange.
Well, shit the bed.
It's a bit like how lots of our green vegetables is all mustard. So the mustard flat plant, and that's where a lot of our green veg derives from. So different selective breeding of mustard has done so. Cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, sprouts, all of them all go back to that common ancestor of the mustard plant.
And through all this, broad beans have remained green.
Yes. Although the big mystery with broad beans
the children
is broad beans are also called fava beans in other things.
Bless.
God bless.
Oh, God bless us, everyone.
All those green ones. We need more green. Did you say, what was that you said there, Dan? Was it you found out?
So broad beans are also called fava beans in other countries, but did you know you can go to the supermarket and buy a can of so on this can of beans shelf you'll see broad beans in a can for like 20-30 pence, and then next to it you will see a can of British fava beans for like £1.80. And they're exactly the same thing.
Is that because you get a nice Chianti with it? Is it?
Yeah.
I was going to assume that we call them broad beans if they're in pods, and fava beans if they're unpodded. So I was wondering if, like, you have broad beans in a can which were still in pods or something.
No, you can't buy them unshelled and everything.
Yeah. I was just wondering if that's the terminology. So based upon, like, at the time of purchase, are you purchasing them out of the pod? Therefore, they're called a fava bean, and if they're in a pod still, they're called broad beans.
Well, I would guess fava sounds a bit. Now I don't know this without googling, but fava sounds a bit Latin, doesn't it? So I guess fava is probably the scientific word, and broad bean is probably just a word that we call it because it's broad.
And there's no mother beans. We know we got the children beans because they weren't green.
Mother bean, father bean, and their little baby
back?
Green bean.
The Poddington peas, that was it. The Poddington peas.
Down at the bottom of the garden.
Yes. Poddington peas. Oh. This has been sponsored by the Poddington peas.
That's going to be stuck in my head all night now.
Well, here's a funny thing. The other day we released an episode all about mandrakes, and Steve was criticised the whole time that we will not come back to fruits and vegetables or any sort of botany ever again, because we had a whole where we spoke all about mandrakes and all the related plants. Here we are now talking about vegetables and everything that's unrelated to the broad beans that the children ate.
You're going to be the vegetable investigators.
Yeah.
Have you watched any That's Life on your stream, on your Twitch stream?
Oh God, no! I've not done any That's Life. No.
Oh, you've got to get some That's Life. I need you to see the carrots with the willies. Every week there'd be Esther giggling at some carrot that had a third leg.
Oh. That's been mentioned about twice recently, so I might consider it. A bit of That's Life.
Actually, I did find something interesting. The last surviving one of the fugitives, the people who were turned blue, right? He was 1975, I think he was. Apparently, he was a normal color. He was.
But he injected himself with
There was somebody else
iron or something. Oh,
yeah,
was it? Oh, okay.
But the actual last one of the family. Apparently, his fingers and ears would turn blue when he got angry. So it would still happen. So if he got angry, his fingers and his ears would go blue, which is
so basically
awesome.
he's not like the Hulk. He just looks like he's chewed on a fountain pen.
That's his superpower. He wouldn't like it. My fingers are blue.
I like
to walk
how
from town to town. That's it. Nobody accepts him. Being chased by a reporter who just wants to just see him go blue.
I like how you very nervously put down the pen that you've been.
Yeah, no, I was worried. I've had this pen by my chin for ages, and I've just put it down. Like, no, I'm fine. Oh,
You're right. There was that guy. He was drinking. He was eating or drinking something really poisonous, wasn't he? But he did it his entire life.
Yeah, it was like ridiculous. I was going to say mercury or some kind of ridiculous stuff, deliberately to make himself blue.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, mercury would turn you a bluey sort of metallic colour, wouldn't it? Silvery.
Bluey kind of dead, yeah.
Yeah.
A sort of bluey black silvery colour is what mercury would do if you ingest it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm revealing the fact that I know all sorts of random knowledge today.
Oh, colloidal silver? I don't know.
That's it.
That's it. It was the silver. That's it. And he did look like Papa Smurf, didn't he?
Yes.
I've just seen the picture of him. Yeah. I remember reading about this a couple of years ago. I don't know why it came up, but yes, it might have even come up because another annoying gimmick on my stream is whenever someone turns up with grey hair and a beard, they always do "Is that you?" There's even a thread on my Discord called "Is that you?" now, where people just post anyone with a beard, and he's probably appeared on it at some point.
Do you know what though? This is going to sound really bad, but his color is quite offensive. I don't know what it is. Sometimes there's a color, which for me it's usually like purple, violet kind of thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know something about. I see this color, and I don't like it. People say, "What's your favorite color?" Sometimes it's just a nasty color.
He looks.
I would discriminate against him. I'm sorry, I wouldn't let him in the house.
I'd stop his boat.
He would definitely be at the back of the bus. There's no way that guy's going to be at the front.
Oh God, this has taken a turn.
This is where I draw the line.
Now I'm wondering, looking at pictures of him and the colour of violet he is, do you think Willy Wonka put colloidal silver in his chewing gum, which is why Violet Beauregard turned violet?
Could be,
yeah. Quite possibly.
And if Charlie had eaten that Goldstopper, he would have found the arsenic in it. Good thing he gave it to Uncle Joe.
Oh, wow.
Uncle Joe, the most hated person on the planet.
Grandpa
Joe.
Was it Grandpa Joe? That's it, Grandpa Joe. Yeah, God. Yeah. I've seen the Grandpa Joe hate on Reddit. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, saw the fact of him being
Grandpa Joe, the benefit thief.
Yeah,
that's him. Yeah.
As soon as he's going somewhere, he's skipping about. Invisible illnesses. Hey, God. Wow. Yes, definitely. Oh, do you know what? Speaking of Roald Dahl, I'm just going to say one thing very quickly, and my last tangent, I promise. I've found recently from an old cassette I used to have, but it had been uploaded on YouTube, and it was a full cast audio version of the BFG. I think it was released in 1990 from memory, and the BFG, I only just clicked, was played by Bernard Cribbins.
Oh.
And it is worth finding just for that, because Bernard Cribbins is wonderful.
Yep.
And he
should have been knighted.
He gives David Jason a run for his money as the role of the BFG. Definitely worth finding. I don't understand it, right, with Bernard Cribbins. Now, no offence to Bernard Cribbins. He's a bloke on the telly and he's an entertainer, okay? Mm-hmm. That's it. But something about him, when I see him, you just feel like you're at home, and like, you know, it's a weird feeling. Yeah. And I won't lie well, there's did you see him on the Doctor Who Buzzcocks? He's
yes
in that. But the other thing I always will remember is the 60th anniversary, the scene with him in. Obviously, I think he was supposed to do more, but he was very ill.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it wasn't long after he passed away. But that scene there, seeing him in it, I can't lie, I cried.
Yeah, when I
did too. Bawled my eyes out at it. It's just, I don't know why. It's like almost I see him as like the granddad I never had or something. It's strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's absolutely wonderful, and every time whenever I see him in something, I will have a little, teary eye. I don't know why. But then again, when I found episodes of Runaround on YouTube once, I nearly cried for that. I don't know why, but there we go. Mike Reed reminds me of his mannerisms reminded me of my old man, which is very strange. So another one. Yeah. But no, Bernard Cribbins is a national treasure.
Very special. Yeah, absolutely. Talk about old TV. I was in Aldi yesterday, and I was buying a load of sweets, which I shouldn't have been buying. So I didn't mean to. So I didn't take a basket with me, because I meant to just buy like some mini marshmallows. End up with more sweets than you could possibly count. And I was just going to get some biscuits, and I dropped a load of the stuff I was carrying. And this old fella next to me, okay, when I say old, probably my age, picked the stuff, gave it to me, and says, "Cracker Jack." Because do you remember Cracker Jack? He's like, do you know what? Yeah, I don't even thought about that for decades. But when they used to make you used to have to hold stuff, and stuff, they put stuff in your arms, and if you dropped it, you didn't have it. But if you could hold everything, you could hold on to, and it was that, and it's just like, this is crazy. Yeah, just I thought, you'd like that one. It's just from Blast from the Past.
Cracker Jack, yes.
Cracker Jack,
so good.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, I said I was only going to do a quick tangent, and then we all did it. So
they all did it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's not just my fault.
So I think we should probably, I don't actually know how long the episode is at this point, because I forgot to keep note of what time we started. But
it's gold. It's gold. Just leave it all in there.
If you are still here and listening, do check out our socials. Do check out our Patreon. And come back next week. And huge thank you to John at Oddtrots for joining us this week.
You're welcome.
Oddtrots on Twitch. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. Twitch.tv/Oddtrots. And do join the Boo-Foons Patreon, so you can keep me company in their Discord.
Yeah. Might get on the show as well. That's a special gift. No.
Yes, we could rebrand this whole episode as this is a Patreon special for patrons only. It's definitely not that we love John.
There's only John will see it.
Yeah. But no, I meant we can rebrand it as a whole. This is a Patreon special thing because we've got a Patreon here, because he's a Patreon. But actually, realistically, it's because we love John and we wanted John back.
Yeah, and we got to
go join the Patreon. You can't see the video version of this podcast, and therefore you don't know what I'm holding in my hand right now.
Yeah.
What? You do not have that in your hand right now.
Yeah. Okay, it's gone.
And right, thank you very much. None of us wearing any clothes. No cancel culture here.
Yeah, I didn't know. We just accepted. That Sorry, it was a bit of a surprise when the video call started.
We did it
John,
to make
thank you so much. Yeah, just
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you, John. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Anytime.
Yes, and that's bye from us. We'll be here next week, and do check out the socials if you want more of us, and look at the Patreon as well for the video version, so you can see what did John have in his hand.
Boo-Foons, mystery investigators.